Hey, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Giveaway Show. It's episode number 106. We're in season 5, and we are glad that you are here hanging out with us tonight. I'm Carlos Collects Comics. This is my channel, and we do this every Wednesday night because we love generosity in the comic book community. We're doing giveaways. A big shout out and thanks to our sponsor, to one of our channel sponsors. They are Lone Star Heroes Comics and Toys, 3 convenient locations in the greater Houston area. Check them out. Lots of fun stuff, and they've got a big sale coming up. One of their big sales of the year coming up in just a couple of weeks. They're going to have 50% off of everything, I think up until $20, and just a bunch of cool stuff. So, and we're looking forward to maybe showing y'all more of their shop and letting you see more of it. If you're a winner of the giveaway show, you've been getting with your packages, you've been getting little cards with their information on it. So make sure and hit them up and see if there's a book that you are looking for that they can help you find. Also, you can find them on eBay. It's at the Bronze Surfer, the Bronze Comic Book Surfer. You can find that in the video description below. So make sure and check them out there. But hey, welcome to the show. We're about to get started. We will see you in just a moment after this opening crawl. See ya. Hey, what's up? It's Carlos and Paul. We are here, and Billy, hanging out here with you. I don't know if Paul realizes he is on camera right now, but wanted to bring him out and let everybody say hey to him. We're going to go through the comment section real quick right now and say hi to everybody. And anyway.
Oh, you got me on.
Paul had a massive haul. I'll let him show some of them off in a minute, but it's obscene. But they're all coming to a comic auction near you soon for heavily inflated prices. So, all right. So what's up? Let's take a look at who's here in the chat. First up, Las Cruces 1971. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. There's El Green Machine dropping in the Carlos logos. If you're a channel member, you can do that now. And El Green's got some packages headed his way. Let's see, Christina Payne, what's up? Good to see you. David Dotson says it's time for our favorite show with our host with the most, Carlos. Thank you for that. I'm excited that y'all are here hanging out with us. What's up? There's Christina Payne again. Make sure and hit that like button if you haven't already. Dagger Card says what's up to everybody. Glad to see us. Meatwad number 1, a recent winner. I just sent the package out to him. He says, how's it going, comic community? Las Cruces says, I see you're doing better, Christina, back at the gym. Good to know. Glad that y'all are feeling better if y'all were under the weather. Lizzie Pop says, thumbs up, please. Las Cruces' first day back to training. Awesome. Liz Barnes is keeping up with us and letting us know how many likes we got. Let's see if we can break 25 likes tonight before the end of the night. Andrew, brother from down under, says hello. El Green Machine says, away we go. There's Hector popping up in the chat. Good to see you there as well, buddy. Ryan Riley is hanging out. Liz Barnes greeting everybody and letting everybody know. So glad that y'all are all here. Before I bring Paul back out and have him show off a few of his books, let me just remind you, if you're not a channel member yet, consider doing so. We're seeing more people that are interested in the Dark Knight channel membership here. So let me just tell you about that real quick. It's $14.99 a month. You get all the extra stuff. You get all the regular stuff that you get with the other 2 levels. But what you get that's above the rest is a quarterly care package from me featuring, now the graphics will say at least 1 curated comic book. But it's definitely not just 1. There's more than 1 that are going out. Other goodies like stickers and stuff like that. They get shipped to you, and this is for the lower 48 states only. And so here's the deal. If you like mystery boxes, and you like the idea of a surprise, but maybe with other mystery boxes you said, oh man, there's random books, I don't really collect that. Well, here's the neat thing about the care packages, the quarterly care package. It's $14.99 a month. They go out every quarter. You definitely get your value out of it. And on top of that, You fill out a form that gives me information to go off of when I'm out looking. So when I'm out looking at the different comic shops, stopping by Lone Star Heroes, I'm not just looking at books that I want or that Paul wants. I'm looking for books that you want. And then I come back and I've got a short box here with just channel members. It's got a divider for each of you. And I'll just pick books out. If you say, hey, I like, we've got a new channel member that just said, hey, I like Transformers. So guess what I've been picking up? Transformers books. All right, so they've got more and more Transformers books that are there. So the idea is that you've got somebody in one of the biggest markets in the country that's constantly looking around for you. And once in a while, Paul looks too. Once in a while, he does also. So it's a great deal, killer deal. I would advise you highly, really consider it. And it's you can put all kinds of notes on the form that you fill out. So make sure and check it out. Think about it. Because over the next month or two, we're going to be making a big push to get more channel members and get more people signed up. And I want feedback from you. If you have thoughts or opinions about the channel memberships on this channel, shoot me a message. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. I heard from one person about the dates that the billing happens. I can't do anything about that, unfortunately, but I'd love to hear any other suggestions that you might have. So let's keep it moving on right along. We got some cool topics tonight because tonight's episode is called Reboot City, and we're going to be talking about the Crow. We've seen some images from that. Different people have different opinions on it. I can't wait to get into that and hear some of the opinions here. Jen should be arriving and shortly and joining us. And we're also going to be talking about Dune. Dune Part 2 dropped last week. I went ahead and watched the first Dune of the new trilogy by Denis Villeneuve, and really impressed by it. But we'll talk about that reboot. We'll also talk about this kind of thing that happens in the comic community of rebooting legacy titles. Why do they do that? Is it just to get that sales bump from a new number one? Or is there really a reason why it never used to happen before, but now we seem to have it happen every few months? We'll get into that as well. So before that, let me go and take it back over to Paul. Paul, I'm sending it to you, and he's going to show off just a few of the books, and then tell you if you're interested in getting those books, tell you where you can get those books. All right, Paul, you're up.
I don't know what he's talking about, but appreciate everybody being here tonight. I know that I got a lot of messages last week. Appreciate everybody reaching out to me. I don't know what these guys were telling you guys, but I'm all right. Me and Billy are here tonight to give you all the right information. I heard that everybody didn't get the proper information last week, but we're here tonight, me and Billy. Appreciate everybody being channel members, subscribing to the channel. Leave a like and comment, you guys. We always appreciate coming on Wednesdays and having to spend time with you guys. So yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and hear from Jen real quickly. The future Batman is here hanging out with us as well. Jen, why don't you tell everybody how you've been this past week?
Boo.
I've been pretty good, guys. Been pretty good. I've just been a little busy. I got a shit pen. Anyway, get it?
I like your Xbox hat.
So anyways, guys, hope you guys are having a good week so far, like myself. And we're going to be discussing a few little topics. I've been cooking a lot, guys. I've been cooking a lot. Do you smell?
Yeah, I've been seeing that, and I've got to say, I'm kind of like, I kind of am inspired, Gene.
Inspired.
Wow. I'm very happy.
Yeah, I want to learn to cook.
That picture didn't inspire me. No.
I mean, Paul's very, very. Doesn't even like mushrooms on his pizza. How picky he is. Doesn't like mushrooms or potatoes. I mean, who doesn't like potatoes on their pizza?
No, man, not that pizza that you ordered. Nah, that wasn't no mushroom or whatever. Yeah, and you guys stay tuned because while Jim and Carlos were sleeping, your boy went and got it. Oh, woo!
All right, real quick shout out to Guillaume Barnaud for hanging out with us tonight. Hector says he thought it was a Squid Game cap, Jen. And then Mr. Collector's popping into the chat and saying hey to everybody. And then Joffrey Castro says, what's up, Carlson Gang? So good to see all of you tonight hanging out with us. We got some cool giveaway books that we're going to be.
Oh, we got Mr. Collector in there. Hello, everyone.
With one of them right away. Before we do that, so here's the first topic that we're going to be talking about. So the episode is called Reboot City. There have been some images. And we're just going to jump right into it, okay? All right, so there have been some images that have gone live online. And
man,
so these are the images that these have gone live. I'm loading one right now. And then we're going to talk about this as people are entering their first hashtag. As they're entering their first hashtag to win. Look at that. Every book that he shows, he got for $1. So if he tries to sell it to you for $20 on one of the auction channels, tell him no. I'll double your money for you. Tell him to pay him $2 for all of his dollar books. All right. So Jen's got some autograph stuff too. All right, so here it is, and be watching the chat because I'm going to put the hash. Oh, let me tell you what you're going to be up to win. So for the first round giveaway, we're going to go ahead and do. So this is He Who Fights with Monsters #1. This is the homage cover to a Fantastic Four one. So it's kind of a cool. This is an interesting piece of historical fantasy fiction. About a Nazi fighter, but this is it's kind of a horror book, and it came out from a Blaze publisher. So this is kind of cool. You might recognize the homage here, but this is He Who Fights with Monsters #1. This is going to be the first giveaway. There's also a mystery book or books that will be up available, or you can always take the which I think it's about time. This will be, this will be the last night after we wrap tonight, guys. We are changing out this. We're changing out the upgrade giveaway book. We're going to put another book in there. So those are your books to choose from for this first giveaway. If you want to enter to win,
you had a mystery book, huh?
You're going to be there is a mystery book. There is a mystery book. All right, so we're going to do
book, guys.
Hashtag. All right, there it is. All right, so if you want to win, hashtag rebooting Paul.
Rebooting Paul.
Oh, whoops. Okay, wait, no, I'll change it.
You're already going now.
Yeah, no, I know. I put rebooting Paul. There we go.
I just want to thank the hashtag program because the questions he would ask back in the day, guys. Man, I don't know where y'all using your.
Oh, why do you look like you're filming through a fishbowl or something? You got that for $1. Don't let him sell it to you for more than $2. All right.
You're the
hashtag rebooting Paul. All right, so guys, here is the first. Okay, so here's the video, or here's the picture that went live. We all remember the Brandon Lee Crow.
Yeah.
All right, from the early '90s, and tragically, he lost his life in the filming of that movie. All right, it's a cult classic.
Wasn't it like the Bruce Lee curse or something like that?
No, I mean,
people have talked about that. They
were saying that it was the Bruce Lee
also
curse.
died from an injury on set.
Yeah.
But here is, so this is, what's his name? Bill Skarsgård? Is it Bill?
I don't know who this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the Skarsgård brothers.
That was a dead zombie.
This is him as the Crow.
Wow.
So this is the new Eric Draven.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not going to suck.
I thought it was a zombie.
Okay, and then here, because I thought I need to show, I need to show what the Brandon
exactly
Lee.
Hector.
So okay, so let's check. Let me add this. Let me pull this one up. All right, so this is so we were referencing it a minute ago. So this was the original Crow. All right, in the 1993 film of the same name.
Yeah, was it the third one, right? This is the third movie?
No, this is the first one. The very first Crow movie. Super
that.
low budget. It was from 1993, and this is Brandon Lee, the son of legend Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And tragically, he was shot with a portion of something got stuck in the barrel of a prop gun. So
No,
when
it was a prop gun itself. Part of the piece of the prop gun came off.
Yeah.
It came off and it struck him. Part of the actual prop came out.
Kind of like blew up.
He was killed on set.
Yeah.
And they he was actually killed on set. And so it's kind of become a piece of film lore, and people have. I think somebody just mentioned about it being part of the Bruce Lee curse, because Bruce Lee also died from issues from an onset injury. So this was the original Brandon Lee Crow, and then here we've got this is the new. This was the first look that they provided of this version of the Crow.
Somebody said, "What? Why is the Joker in Crow?"
Yeah, I know. Okay, let's see what this dude wears. The long hair. It's a big part of his mystique. Yeah. Looks like a Russian punk rocker.
I thought he was a zombie.
I can't. Why is Joker in Crow? That's true. Yeah. All right, the Lee curse. All right, tattoos are a personality trait in 2024, it seems.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the two different ones. Like here again, here's the Brandon Lee one.
Yeah,
and
you mean the 90s, baby. My God, cover me, Billy.
All right, so this is Brandon Lee, and then here is Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård as the Crow for 2024. So that's what we're talking about tonight. So for those who hadn't seen it yet, so I want to panel dive in. If you guys are ready, let's hear it. I know y'all. I know Jen, you especially are ready to go.
I mean,
I hate it, guys. I mean, I hate the look. I don't like it at all. I feel like if you see what Barnaby is saying about tattoos are personality traits in 2024, it seems that it's either that or it's subliminal messages that they'll like corporations or companies or whatever you believe in or whatever you worship, or they got a lot of cult like tattoos, right? You got a lot of paganism that you see on his tattoos. I mean, a lot of the stuff all the tattoos together don't make sense. I mean, I know he's a rocker, or, the movie persona has seen him as a rocker, like he shops at Hot Topic or something. I get what they're trying to do, but I don't know if that's actually how you're going to get me into the theater, or someone that is a little bit on the more moderate, conservative side. I guess my views. But I'm gonna pass on this. I'm not gonna watch it. I just think it's gonna be a movie that's gonna cater to a certain audience, and then even that audience that watches it is gonna be like totally confused. Like, why did they put this in here, or what was the whole idea of putting this in here? Now, in the comic book, the Crow comic book, when he gets shot in the head, and then they rape his fiancée in front of him, and he can't do anything. I don't know how they're going to do this. I'm not sure how they're going to do this movie. It just looks like they're doing a whole different new spin on it. I'm not against new spins. My only problem is that if you're not catering to the masses are going to reject your movie. Your whatever messages you're trying to put in your movie. So I had originally posted this. I was like, okay, first of all, none of this makes actual sense. I actually had flipped the image around. So you got like the Antichrist thing going on there, and then you got the Eye of Ra. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I don't. They got an occult tattoo here. They got one that says "Bad Boy," which is an LGBTQ thing. They got the upside down crosses.
Wait, hang on. That's an LGBTQ thing?
Yeah, that's an LGBTQ thing. I had to actually look it up to I'm like, wait, why did you put that on there? Then they have the crow on the side with the upside down crosses, the red crosses, symbolic meanings to that. One being multiple fallen people, and the other thing is witchcraft. So what was the purpose behind this? Yeah, Momoa could have been a great Crow, Barnaby, but the thing is, he's too big, and it seems like guys that are really massive and big looking, they come off as masculine, and that's not the image that they're going for. But again, they could have always chosen, what's his name from Loki, the guy that played Loki on MCU. He was a front runner for.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston. Really?
Yes, he was at one point. I think
Are
it was
you
him
serious?
and Jason Momoa. I believe him and Jason Momoa were like lead for lead, and then when they changed the direction and the writers, because even the director for The Crow, we had a discussion about this, guys. Usually we do our homework before we get on these panels, but one of the thing is that the movie itself has two directors. Let me pull up the directors real quick. So you have Rupert Sanders. Now, Rupert Sanders, he's only done like two really good, I won't say good movies, but two popularized movies. He's done Ghost in the Shell, which I thought was, it could have been way better. Anything that's anime related, you have to understand what they're trying to do with the anime, try to Americanize that. And then Snow White and the Huntsman. Both of those movies failed miserably in the box office. He's not a good writer. Now you do have what's his name?
Here's I'm dropping this on here real quick, Jen, so people can see. So this is, I think this is after the. Well, I think most people know the lore that the girlfriend is killed, and then he's avenging her death. So I think this might be after the death of the girlfriend. But here you can see a close up of the haircut. And
he's got a mullet. It's hidden behind his I'm
trying to find a picture. I'm trying to find this picture that
with the fireplace.
Yeah, the picture that, because there's a third picture that was a first. Here it is. I'm bringing it up right now. So this is this is the third. These three pictures were released through Vanity Fair.
That's correct, Barnaby. He is.
Yeah.
There you go. The fireplace.
So there's another picture of them together. Tom Hiddleston. I hadn't heard that about that, but Tom Hiddleston is a beast when it comes.
He is. He is.
Like, he does really well. So that would have been really interesting. I think he's a little bit old for it, but
now he is. But 10 years ago, when they first announced that they were going to make this movie. I think it was like 8 or 10 years ago. Because they've been wanting to do this movie for the past 8-10 years, ever since he got the role. Now the other person that's attached to this movie is Zach Balin. You can search him up on Wikipedia or whatever. Let me see if I can. There you go, Zachary Jones Balin. So he's a screenwriter. Now I love the way he does screen work. I feel like what they did is they saw that Sanders has a really bad track record, and they said, you know what, we'll take Balin and we'll kind of have him as a co-director / screenplay writer. And what that'll do is, if the movie feels like it's not doing well, you'll probably have someone to balance it, kind of like, so they don't have a Zack Snyder thing going on. So it could end up being good. It could. We don't know. I mean, we have to see the trailer. We have to see some more things about the movie before we completely judge it. I'm just not feeling the tattoos. I'm not feeling his mullet. It gives me the Joker 2.0 Jared Leto vibes.
Yeah.
It's not doing it any justice right now, but it could all change. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm with you, Jen. I love the original. Because I was in, I think I was young high school when it came out, and I remember it was a big deal because it was so like edgy and just a different kind of a superhero movie. And, remember, this was just a few years after the original 89 Batman with Michael Keaton. So very different feel and look to it. And I remember watching it and just saying, wow, this is like, because it was so gritty and like dirty, but it was cool. And I just, my thing is, I just wonder is, because we're all a little bit older than who the target demo was for the original Crow. It was definitely for young people, right? A lot of clothes and stuff that like my son wears, I don't get it. A lot of like oh, there's that one hairstyle that like my I see kids with, like just different kids have it. It's called the Edgar. I can't stand that hairstyle, but it's so popular, and I see it all the time, and I'm like, I don't get it. So I wonder if maybe part of it is that a younger audience will find this cool and edgy in a way that like we kind of are just like, nah, it's not our cool and edgy. But I don't know, because you look at the Brandon Lee one.
I'll have to actually look at the hairstyle, the Edgar. It looks like a mushroom hairstyle, like a bowl cut.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like a modernized bowl cut.
But it's popular. But the thing is, like, I look at this and I kind of wonder, like, I'd almost want to hear like a teenager's perspective, like a 19-year-old's perspective. Like, would this look still be considered cool today? Like, if they saw this Eric, like the one that's up on screen, would this look work in 2024?
Yeah.
Or his. So I don't know. I really don't know. And you, the chat, weigh in on it. Do you think this look would still work for 2024?
If you can create a poll and ask them a yes or no.
That's a good idea. I have not yet done one of those. Do I have to do that? Where do I do that? Do I do that in StreamYard, or do I do it on
I think you can do that in StreamYard, or what you can do is you can ask that yes or no, and then see how many people engage and say yes and no.
That's a good idea. I'm going to try to do it through YouTube. This may cause a feedback.
I mean, Hector, you're right. I mean, but here's the thing, Hector. The girl with the dragon tattoos, that was kind of like part of her mystique, right? I mean, that was something that even if you read the books, even the UK version, she had all those things on her. Now, with Eric, you don't really see that. You don't see that in, in the comic books. You don't see that in any of his mythos. I think they just did that to make him more edgy, just to add more character to the film character.
I don't know what he's talking about, Billy. I'm totally confused.
So,
like you, Billy.
I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna be, man. I'm gonna wait and see a trailer before I completely bash the movie, because I'm not gonna say that the movie's gonna be really bad, because it is good.
All right, so there it is, folks. There's a poll in the chat. Would the 1993 The Crow look, the one that's up on screen, would it still work in 2024? Okay, so
Sting the wrestler had that look for a while in WCW, because he was. I think even when he went to WWE,
Sting, he was actually one of my favorite wrestlers, and he had that amazing look. But
trench coat and everything. But yeah, me personally, I'm not going to watch this. I like the original. I don't like. Somebody said a couple of weeks ago when we talked about what was it? What's that movie? They made it was a TV show, but now the Fall Guy. I like the original Fall Guy. I guess Hollywood's not having original ideas anymore, so they're going to the whales. But yeah, I see this book. I see this image, and I'm not going to go see it.
Meatwad number one.
Just give me the 90s.
100%. 100% Meatwad number one. And Sting, Steve Borden, he just had his last wrestling match this past week.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, I liked Sting when he was in WCW, and then he was when he took that persona, I thought that was the coolest thing ever, going against
It
the
was.
NWO. And yeah, but me and Billy, are you going to watch this, Billy? I agree with Billy. I ain't watching this. I don't know about the reboot. Oh, there now.
All right,
we
let's see what the chat has to say. So Hector says he's a good actor. Maybe a darker movie. I'll give it a chance. Okay. Guillaume says Mandela as the Crow. That would not work at all.
Yep.
Hector says don't mind a lesser known actor for this role. This actor was good in it. That's true.
All right. Well, I don't know about that, Hector. All right, you're out of here, Hector.
The Crow is not a muscle guy. He is mysterious and vengeful.
Yeah, there you
What's
go.
up, Jonathan Dotson? Good to see you. Loki is catcast forever. Yeah, nobody's calling him by his true name.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan Riley says, what's with the haircut? Here's a better picture of the hair. No, here's the best picture of the haircut. Ryan Riley says, what's with that haircut? I would never for a second think he is the Crow. Very disappointing.
Yeah.
All right. And Guillaume says that black look. Look, here we go. I don't want to miss this one. Paul could pull that look off.
What, this look?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's talking about the other look. Oh. Okay.
Paul, this is your cosplay for
No, hey.
All right. Guillaume says, I trust Skarsgård, great actor. Just hope the studio keeps away and lets the creatives work. I
don't know about that, man.
I think with a little bit. Girl with the dragon tattoo vibes, for sure. Yes, that's for sure. Guillaume says the black look, meaning this one, has been done has been overdone and abused in the Matrix. Not cool anymore because of overuse. That's a good point. However, Meatwad #1 says that look worked for Sting for 30 years.
Yep.
Yeah, he's talking about his WCW reign. Yep.
Yeah, he just had his last match this past week.
Yeah, Liz Barnes says this pick look reminds me more of Edward Scissorhands. I think Brandon would have revamped the character's look if he lived, like Blade did. Never would have looked like this, though, and shouldn't. Only
there you go, Ryan. Give Ryan a star. There you go, Ryan. All right.
I think it's because tattoos are more popular than in the 90s. So, yeah, because he's definitely kind of got he's got a ton of tattoos.
I mean, he's got his name on his brow right there in case he forgets.
Would work better, too. I'm guessing Meatwad is talking about Timothy Chalamet. Hector says Tim Burton wouldn't have a career if people didn't like change. That's true.
Yeah,
also.
I agree with that. But
I don't know about that, Hector, because
if you're paying attention to the poll, you will see that would the 1993 Crow look work in 2024? 15 of you have voted. An overwhelming 87% say yes. You prefer the original Brandon Lee Crow look for the 2024 reboot. But it does all remain to be seen, because once, we're really not going to know until we have, the actual film.
Oh, they said that they copied Post Malone's look for the new Crow.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, there's definitely some Post Malone vibes going on.
Oh.
I mean, he has his name on his eyebrows. So
we're going to do our giveaway real quick. So let me go ahead and share this. For those that are interested in winning, you need to do #RebootingPaul. You got about another 30 seconds, and then I'm bringing it up right now for us to. There it is. All right, so it's #RebootingPaul. 20 of you have entered to win. Thanks to all of you. Make sure to also hit that like button.
Yeah, we got one more to get to 20, guys. He said 20.
Yep, one more. Yeah, let's
get one more 20.
All right, folks, here we go. Good luck to everybody in 3, 2, 1.
I like these hashtags, man. Good questions we're getting. Yeah. People getting off of work.
They said they copied the look of Post Malone for the new Crow. Interesting. All right. Congratulations, Liz Barnes. All right, Liz Barnes, you got to let us know, because you can take this book There is a mystery book that is right here.
Mystery
Or
book.
you can do the Wonder Man #1 upgrade. This is y'all's last chance to take this one home tonight. Also, on a side note, all giveaway books are out the door. I only have 2 packages left for Jonathan Dotson and Christina Payne. I need to get more slab boxes. But y'all's are going to be going out very, very soon. So thank y'all for all watching and
That's
hanging
right.
out.
Jonathan said just give me his slab. Thank you, Jonathan.
Right. All right, so let us know, Liz, which one you want. Mystery, please. Thanks. All right, she wants to take the chance on the mystery book. All right, here's what she wins, folks. West Coast Avengers #1 through 4, newsstand, low grade.
All the
Miniseries for West Coast Avengers. This is what kicked it off, where they chose the lineup for the team.
Yeah, I can't believe they got Hawkeye as the leader.
1 through 4. They are not high grade, but you are getting all 4 of them in newsstand. And
And
I hope
cough.
you enjoy them. I didn't cough on them. All right, so thank you so much for hanging out. All right, for those who are also watching and wondering, I hope that's not.
Wow, Ryan says so lucky. Yeah.
All right, so here's what we got as the giveaway. The next giveaway. This is the Joker #1, the new Tynan version. This is a variant.
That's the Mark Brooks.
Yeah, it's the Mark Brooks variant right here. So
Make
this is
yourself
going
bigger
out.
so they can see.
Plus, I'll also have a mystery book here.
Can I see the mystery book?
No.
Tell me
I'm not
what it
gonna-
is, Billy. Billy, use the force. Tell me what it is, Billy.
I gotta check it though, because it's got looks like.
I can't see it. Let me see it. Billy, use the force. Let's see what's the mystery book.
Dang it.
Find it, Billy.
Well, the mystery book does have a nick on it. I don't know. I'll let the winner decide on what they want to do.
What'd you do? You dropped it again?
No, I don't know what happened to this one.
Did Miss Collect scare you again?
No, because this was actually a cool mystery book. I don't know. I'll see if I have another copy. I'm not sure. All right, but this one got a couple of dings on it. I'm not sure from where. All right, so congratulations to Liz Barnes for picking up this West Coast Avengers. I'll put those back. Liz, these will actually go in because Liz is a channel member, and she's going to have a box. She's going to have her care package going out soon. So, Liz, these will go in there to your care package.
Yeah, he's starring in his own Mandalorian movie. He won't be at the show for a little while. So we'll let y'all know when Billy leaves to go do the Mandalorian movie.
Yeah, that's right. Billy is.
And then he'll probably be a superstar and never come back.
He's going to leave you like the monkey. Is that the monkey?
Don't leave Billy. You're going to go off and be a superstar. Uh-oh. As you can tell back there, guys, there's some more stuff that's available. Look at that. Look at the wall back there, guys. God, look at all the books.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so let's keep going. Okay, any final thoughts on the Crow? So, Jen, is there any chance at all, like if it's just got an amazing trailer, would you consider seeing it, or are you just like, I'm done? No. The tattoos are enough.
I don't know, man. I don't. So far, it's all the stuff that he has on his body that I'm more. There's no reason for any of that stuff. I don't believe in any of that pagan shit. So I'm probably not gonna watch it just because of that. I don't associate myself with that kind of stuff, like cults and all that, like witchcraft, all that crazy stuff. Even the 90s movies, the 90 version was very discreet about it. They never explained how he became the Crow. They just said one little monologue before, like, he came out of the grave. and they just said that the creature itself felt really bad for him, and he resurrected from the graves, right? And you have to read the comics to have a better understanding. Even when my mom introduced me to the original Crow, I didn't even understand it then when I was a kid, that people just love the movie. I mean, how are they going to beat that over this? I mean, you have to read so many of these comics to understand the mythos of the character. And then if you start going into witchcraft and all this other stuff, you're going to push away a lot of people. I mean, people are very judgmental, especially if the actor, he can do his part, right? Like Bill will do his part. He'll be a great actor. But if the script is bad, the movie is bad, the pacing is bad, I don't know. We'll just have to see. I mean, it's like what you said. If the trailer looks good, will the movie be good? There's movies where the trailer looks good, and then I go and watch it, and the movie is terrible. I mean, look at every Transformers movie that's came out.
Yep, you ain't lying.
Of course, Barnaby. I mean, what? The whole point is the discussion of how we feel about the character persona at the moment. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
So I'm interested. I'm interested in learning more about it. Like you, I'm not down with a lot of the kind of the occult stuff that it might be referencing. But I'm interested to see what they do, because it's like a lot of, and this is the tough part. When you have a beloved cult classic that is so ingrained in popular culture, and we really haven't had what I would consider a successful reboot or sequel since the original, because there's been I think 3 sequels, and didn't they try a TV show also? But none of them has really taken root. So when you have this kind of a cult classic with a very passionate fan base, and even the director of the original isn't doing the standard kind of Hollywood, oh, I wish them well, and da-da-da. No, he's trashing it on social media. When you have that kind of,
that's a good point. I mean, Liz Barn has a good point. I mean, yeah. I mean, if they release it around Halloween, you're essentially right, Liz. It would be a perfect movie to actually release around Halloween. Yeah. I mean, I do agree with that. It's not that could work, but did they even announce a release date? Look, here's my thing, guys. I usually don't put my political views or my religious views out there, but if you look at any historical evidence of what they're doing in Hollywood, the whole concept that they're doing right now is whenever you sexually liberate people and you think it's okay to do that, you start blending the lines. You start having males that don't fight for maintaining social cohesiveness, okay? So social cohesion, which is a purpose. Once you start doing that, you're starting to now push ideologies, and a lot of people are not okay with that. I mean, you look at it, all the empires in the world, 5,000 years of history, they've all fallen because you've blurred those lines. Men become women, women become men, so forth. And that's, you can clearly see the messages in these movies that they're doing. Those tattoos are not just any tattoos. I heard someone say, oh, which rocker doesn't have tattoos? Yeah, but rockers that have tattoos, they don't just put the Eye of Ra on their chest for just some reason.
I agree with Hector. The dollar side.
I think Hector brought up a really good point that it's ultimately it's going to come down to how does it perform, and what I was speaking to earlier was that it is tremendously difficult to reboot a beloved franchise. We've been seeing this. We've seen this play out in so many case studies. That's why I thought this would make such a great episode, because it's not just this one. All right. Mm-hmm. We saw it with I think it was the 2000
Beetle and
the 2006 Ghostbusters. When they tried that, ultimately they had to roll back from that and go back to the original legacy cast and then introduce a new cast alongside them and go that route with it. We saw it with, we've seen both sides of it. We've seen some of the reboots do really, really well, and we've seen some of them go down the middle of the road, and we've seen some go not so well. because for every Jurassic Park or Ghostbusters or for all the successful ones, there are ones that are not successful, and Batman. There's so much. Batman. But I don't know. Strangely, Batman seems to always do well, no matter how he gets rebooted. Because I remember people were clowning a little bit on Robert Pattinson before.
That was a problem.
Well, they clowned on the 1989 Michael Keaton, but
there's a shot in front of you. Block, right? You got all that gear on you. Block. Catwoman saving you from a shotgun, right? Block, right? I mean, it's not hard making these movies. I mean, there's cosplayers that are making better costumes than some of these people in Hollywood.
That's very true.
There's people, I can guarantee you, Hector, you give him a script, he'll probably sit down and probably be like, nope, because he's probably got more common sense than some of the people that are running Hollywood. I mean, there's a lot of things that you guys are all saying that I agree with. I mean, I agree with a lot of you, and that's why I really appreciate when you guys do give feedback.
I agree with them. They cast Carlos and we'll be good. Cast Carlos, guys.
Wow.
Liz, that would actually be pretty fun to do, to guess how a movie would go. Like, what would you give this movie? This movie's gonna bomb, or is it gonna do well? And by the end of the year,
do you want to try to, Jen? Do you want to try to call what the Rotten Tomatoes is going to be for it? Any guesses whatsoever?
You know what? I'll do this. I'll say it'll get a 59. I think it'll get a 59% because it's not completely rotten, and it's not completely fresh. It's like right borderline of passing, but maybe not. Because I think Bill being a great actor, like what a lot of people on here are saying, like he's just a great actor, right? So the movie's essentially about him. So his character. So we could say that the movie will have potential, but maybe there'll be other things about the movie that just won't do well, like the pacing or the script writing. I don't know. We'll see. Directing.
I think that what let's see here we go. Hashtag cast Carlos.
Yes, Carlos.
Cast Carlos, baby.
I think I really think that this is one thing I thought of. So the remake of It was really popular with younger viewers, and him playing Pennywise and now playing the Crow, I wonder if that also factored into the decision to, because it definitely, I think, is going to appeal to a different demographic, not necessarily different audience, but a different demographic. So I'm curious about the tone of the film. I'm curious about, because if the tone, like if the script is solid, and if the tone and mood of the film, because that's a lot of what made the original so classic, was just that angst that it did such a good job of capturing, and then that rage against everything that younger people feel. I think that's part of those are big things. So if they're able to capture that,
the soundtrack was really great too.
But the problem is, I think you're right, John. I think it's going to come in a little bit lower, because I think that right out of the gate, a lot of people are making a determination about it, and it's going to have to work against that look. Like the look that they chose for him, they're going to have to work against that to So they're already kind of stacking it against.
Hector's making me laugh over here with his comment. It won't be 9 Inch Nails. It'll probably be Linkin Park wouldn't actually be a bad soundtrack for this movie. 9 Inch Nails is great.
Don't start capping on don't cap on Linkin Park, okay? I grew up with Linkin Park. The whole emo look. They were the baddest.
I Tried So Hard is probably going to be the theme song for.
And look how he turned out, guys. Don't listen to Linkin Park.
No, I can't even remember the song. You guys can probably put the song.
All right, folks, come on. So we're going to do the giveaway in just a few more minutes here. Before we get to it, though, let me bring up. Okay, so next subject, the other reboot that has gone the complete opposite direction, Dune. So the Dune reboot, helmed by Denis Villeneuve, who is also did The Arrival, and what were some of the other films? He did some other. He's done a ton of films, and nothing's been bad. So he has helmed it with, and it's an all-star cast. And again, that movie proves to me that Jason Momoa is a star, because he did so much with so little for that role that he had. I'm going to bring it up in just a second here. But yeah, so many other characters as well. So many other really well-known name actors appeared in the first Dune. Josh Brolin, Rebecca Ferguson, let's see, Oscar Isaac as Duke Leto. Here he is. I'm going to bring this up. Here's Jason Momoa and Oscar Isaac as Duke Leto. So the original, the Dune that we remember was the one I think from the 80s, starring Kyle MacLachlan, Chris Christopherson, and infamously Sting as the nephew of the Harkonnen, the Harkonnen clan. So that, and it was, let's be honest, it was definitely lacking when it came to visual effects and pacing, and it was just really, all right, y'all make sure pay attention to that. But yeah, so this new reboot that we've seen here, starring Timothée Chalamet. I watched the first one in preparation for tonight. I haven't gone to see the second one yet. Finances are a little bit tight, but the first Dune. Here's one of the sandworms that is coming to a standstill before them. So this film, I think it's just like the complete opposite. It is just a fantastic film. Hector says Dune 2 was a masterpiece, amazing cinematography and sound, so good. We'll watch again. You have to see it in IMAX or Dolby. Awesome. Ryan Riley says Dune was very surprising. Big fan of the OG one with Sting, but this was really good. Looking forward to 2. Let's see. Very nice. Anybody else? Okay, so Jen, let me toss it to you, buddy. What are your thoughts on, have you watched any of them yet?
Okay, so here's what I usually do, guys, unless if it's like something that I've already read or I've watched the original Dune, and I've read even the adaptation to the the comic adaptation. I have that also. I didn't actually go and watch the first Dune, and I didn't watch the second one. I want to go watch it. I've heard very good things about the first one. I've heard great things about the second one. So Ryan and Hector, thank you for that feedback. I mean, I've been reading reviews on how good this movie is. I am a huge fan of the director. Now, some of the stuff that he's done, like Sicario, is probably one of my, I don't want to say it's one of my favorite movies of all time, but Sicario is a fantastic movie. It's you could consider it a masterpiece. Prisoners was a really good one. And then he also did Blade Runner 2049. Those are all 3 really fantastic movies. Like Blade Runner 2049, no one expected that movie to be what it was. Nobody, just like how we're judging The Crow so vastly, we're saying all these things about it because of the tattoos or the looks. Everybody felt the same way about Blade Runner. They had the same atmosphere and everything, but everyone was a little skeptic on whether if that movie is going to do well. But then you see the director that's attached to it, and how passionate he was about creating this atmosphere, the environment, the cinematography, the soundtrack, everything that came together with that movie was fantastic. And everything that he's done in the past, like what Carlos has said, I feel like Dune is on that same level of quality. I mean, all I'm hearing is good things about Dune. What I will do is, I think this is supposed to be an anthology, so I don't think they're done just yet. What I'm actually planning to do is I'm gonna hold off on watching Dune 1 and 2 until maybe the next one comes out, so then I can just do a theater, sort of like a theater sitting where I can watch 1, 2, and 3. I did that with the Hobbit trilogy. I'm sorry, not the Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, when they had the first one, the second one, and the third one, and they combined them, and we were in the theater for almost an entire day trying to watch all three. People brought their blankets, and everybody was just having a good time. That's probably what I'm going to do with Dune. But I really enjoy the feedbacks. You guys can talk about how good this was. I know the cinematography and the acting. I can't remember his name. Timothy. What's his name? Timothy. I think
Chalamet.
He's like in the running for Dick Grayson right now.
Wow, really?
I mean, right now it's.
I never heard that. Hold on.
No, just go look it up right now. They're looking into him as because for the longest they wanted him to be Damien, but I think right now
he's too old for Damien.
Yes, that's why I said right now they're looking at.
The kid they need to get for Damian Wayne, either the lead from the Last Airbender.
Yeah, he wouldn't be bad. I mean, the thing is that Damien is Middle Eastern, so they don't have enough Middle Eastern interpretation in cinema. So if they are going to go that route, they may want to get someone that's biracial. You may want to get someone that's mixed. But so far I'm looking at the box office for Dune. It's only been out less than a few days. Right?
Yeah, it has not been out.
198 million. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a bona fide success.
Yeah,
it's got a crazy Rotten Tomatoes score. Even though, we all know Rotten Tomatoes are bought out by the studio system, but hey, let's take a quick flashback look before we do the final giveaway. So make sure you've got your giveaway entered. #CastCarlos to win the Joker #1 or the mystery book or the upgrade book. Let's take a look at the 80s Dune. Here's Kyle MacLachlan in one of the big scenes. You can see the costumes, the steel suits, and him interacting with all. You can see Patrick Stewart off to the right here. And apparently, from what I'm reading, Patrick Stewart had no idea who Sting was. Sting plays here's Patrick Stewart looking very confused about what's going on in the movie. Then here's Kyle MacLachlan with his love interest. And then here is, from one of the classic scenes, Sting in the futuristic underwear. From what I'm told, Paul does actually have a pair of those, but he hasn't cosplayed yet in those.
I don't like this new franchise. I don't want.
There was a big fight. There is a fight scene. So this is the character played by Austin Butler in the new Dune, and I'll bring that up in just a second so y'all can see. But those are all shots from the from the original '80s version of the film. So I think it's cool to look back on it. As some people have said in the chat. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, Jonathan Dodson says the first Dune of the 80s felt rushed in one sitting. That's true. I like that they expanded it out and they're taking more time to tell the story. The first one was really good. I haven't seen the second one, like I said. Pay attention to audio when watching the movie. So good. That's true. Very good. All right. Thank you, Liz Barnes, for keeping it up. We got 25 likes. Thanks to everybody who is watching right now. What's up, Travel Shipping Guru, Gerald Yates, Beth, for all y'all for hanging out with us and popping in to do this. Let's see, Butler was so good in the movie as well as Javier Bardem. Yes, he was. I didn't know they reused Wonder Woman's symbol as underwear. Yeah, apparently so.
Damn.
Apparently so. Yeah, the Austin Butler character in Dune was a let's see. Yeah, and now if y'all don't know who Austin Butler is, he's not quite as recognizable in Dune. He actually played Elvis in the Elvis biopic that was just that had just come out. Let's see. Yeah, some people are saying that his character is the best part of the movie. And let's take a look at the difference. The Harkonnen costume design is actually really impressive in this. So I really kind of like that these guys are that. I mean, it's just, everything about it is just so top notch.
Hey, Carlos.
So real quick.
Did you know that there was a Dune television show called Dune Prophecy?
Yeah, but I don't really know much about it, to be honest. I did not focus on it because of time. I felt like we would overdo. Yeah, that's why, like with Zorro, there's going to have to be an all Zorro. There are so many versions of Zorro, cartoon series, TV series, comic book. Yeah, I mean, it would take a 2-part episode to do it all. So here's a side-by-side comparison of Sting from the 1980 version to Austin Butler from the 2024 version. So you can see the difference in the two.
Good night.
All right. I know, guys. I know. I'm going to make it at some point. I heard that those were Billy's underwear. I don't know for sure, though.
What?
He looks like Coneheads. He does kind of look like Coneheads.
Did you see what?
But I don't know. I've heard that the performance is fantastic. So
get her, Billy.
Look forward to seeing that. All right, folks. Hey, it's time for our second giveaway, and then we're going to do some final thoughts on rebooting long-lasting comic titles, because that seems to be something that we do pretty much every 3 months. There's a new #1 issue coming out, and we're going to get to that in just a second. So let's go ahead and bring up, here it is. Oh, that was from last time. I need to reset.
What does you want again?
I'm going to show off some books.
Oh, I got
Like I said, folks, make sure to only offer him $2 on any of the books that he shows you if you try to sell to you.
You see that, guys? Just jealousy over there. That's what happens when he's sleeping.
Hey, man, I got to do whatever I can. All right, 22 entries. All right, come on. You going to show any books or no?
What?
All right, folks. Like I said, Paul will be auctioning off his pair of these fighting briefs.
I don't even watch Dune, man. I don't
his next auction appearance. So make sure and ask him in the chat about that. Say, Paul, where's the Eagle briefs?
The Eagle briefs.
All right. All right, here we go, folks. Hashtag Cash Carlos for your chance to win this Mark Brooks variant of the Joker #1. We're going to go ahead and set this one going in 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
There we go.
Go, Carlos. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, no. Redo it again. Redo.
All right.
Redo
Southern
again.
Comic. So, Southern, go ahead and drop in the chat. Do you want the Joker #1, Mark Brooks variant? Do you want the mystery book, which has a little bit of battle damage to it? Or do you want...
give it to Paul.
So you make sure and drop that in the chat which one you want.
There's a give it to Paul
that you can choose from as well. And just take a second, drop it in the chat. Which one?
Sleep.
Oh, you think he's in bed already? He's asleep?
Oh, no.
Paul has a giveaway. I love it. I love it when Paul
I don't
has
got no giveaway.
That means the world. Paul catches the spirit of generosity and does a giveaway.
Someday, Ryan's like, someday I'll win. Who was the other one that never won on the show? Trying to think of
you know what's weird is the people that think they never win, then they end up going on a winning streak.
A winning streak.
And they're like, all right, so we're waiting on Southern Comic Geek to drop back in and to tell us what which one he wants. In the meantime, okay, so Paul, what is your take on rebooting comic titles? What do you think about that, man? Because you're a longtime comic fan. For those that don't know, Paul was born just a couple years before Action
Superman's
Comics
first appearance.
came out. Yeah, so Paul grew up with the Silver Age classics.
Oh, is that what it was?
And so, so Paul, what do you think about rebooting these new number ones? All these number ones.
I mean, I don't know. Marvel does it badly. They do reboots like every 3 or 4 months, probably. I don't think DC does it as bad because there's still some titles
every like
some titles are on the Rebirth, still from the Rebirth series, but they do like off series. I think the longest one, I think, is Spawn. Spawn's at 350. He said in an interview he will never reboot the title. Spawn will always stay the way it is. I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that they do that to gravitate towards readers, and maybe like somebody doesn't want to go to issue 500 to read a certain, because I guess back then it was like from issue 500 to 505 or 510, that was the whole story. So you would have to like either grab trade paperbacks or you're like going back to those issues. I guess I don't know. Marvel's bad at that, but I mean, people still are buying it. Like somebody said, if you don't buy them, I guess they would like stop doing certain things. So me personally, I don't really like the renumbering. I think that Marvel does the legacy now, where they have the number one and then it says legacy 800 and something. I'm like, well, why don't you just put 800 and whatever the number is? But
yeah, I mean, I do agree with that, and I love that you brought up. I love that you brought up Spawn, because that's a perfect example of a long-running title that it was totally unnecessary to do a reboot.
Well, they gave an interview, and he's like you, like a lot of the older guys or a lot of the older readers and collectors, they don't want to go back to number one again. Just keep it at where it was. And I don't even know why they did these Action 1000s and stuff when they rebooted the numbers, but he said in an interview he will never reboot Spawn. It'll stay there and just keep going.
Jen, what do you think? What's your take on
it? I don't know, man. I'm not. So I'm speechless because Paul knows what I'm going to say. I'm going to refrain myself from saying crazy things on here.
No.
But look. So here's my thing, guys. When I got into comics, when I was, merely a child, when I, in the 90s, and there were a lot of number ones, in the 90s. I remember walking into a comic book shop and asking one of the owners, like, hey, do you have any number ones? And, to me, I mean, I know that comics existed, before me. My parents would take me to the shop and I'd be like, hey, these are really old. And even the owner was like, yeah, they've been there. Some of these comics have been around before you were even born. And so here's the thing. The reason I think they do the reboots is because not everyone has money to go back and collect a Action comic number one or a Batman number one or Detective Comics 27, even though they have facsimiles now. But so what they do is to grab newer readers, they create a number one issue so they can engage these readers and to bring them into the business, the comic book world, so then they can start collecting. So, if somebody didn't buy me a comic book in the 90s, I probably wouldn't be reading comic books right now, right? So, I mean, I have my mother to thank for that, or a few friends at school to thank for that. And then once you learn about these characters and you invest your energy and time into these characters, then eventually, you'll backtrack. For me, it was a little bit later in the game, like, the late 90s. Someone's like, hey, here's the first Doctor Doom, look into him and see if you like the guy. Here's Doctor Strange, so forth. So I understand why they do it. I don't initially agree with it. I do agree with what Paul's saying about the whole the numbering. It can be a little confusing. You thought you had an issue number 1 and it was a complete reboot, but then after issue 101, it's like legacy number, 987, and you're like completely confused. Like what? Where's 986? And I see what they're doing. Okay, so I understand the reboots, but I don't read any of the newer comics anymore. I'll collect covers. I'll collect artwork. I'll do sketches. I'll collect original art. But for the comic books themselves, I don't really go out of my way to actually collect it unless if I like the writer. So that's my intake on the newer stuff. I'm pretty sure the chat might have some things to say. I know some of you guys that do collect comics. What's your take on, do you guys go out of your way to pick up a number 1 if it's your favorite writer, or if it's your favorite cover, or if it's your favorite story on a certain villain? Like, for example, I wasn't picking up on Batman when they rebooted Batman. I wasn't picking up on him because they ruined it issue 50. So they did Batman 1 through, I think it was right around Rebirth time. What they did is they had Batman and Catwoman. They were going to have a marriage, right? They were supposed to have a wedding, and they completely copped out on him, right? She wrote him a letter or something, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to show up. You're not going to be Batman anymore," and so forth. And you know how many fans are angry about that? I was so mad about that event because there was like 49, 50 issues that led to that, right? And then they just copped out, right? And I remember telling my comic book shop, and remember telling people like, "Oh man, I'm done with Batman." But then I read issue 72, The City of Bane, and Bane killed Alfred. It was the biggest event. Like, it was super crazy. And he did it in front of Damien. And instantly, I'm picking up the book and I'm reading it. And Catwoman expresses to Bruce, "Hey, you're my one true love. Like, I love you," and this and that. And like, what happened? Like, look, I didn't want you to not be Batman. He's like, "You're the reason I am Batman. You give me hope." He like breaks down and he talks to her on the beach. And then Tom King comes out and says, "Look, guys, I only did that because DC was telling me this. My initial goal was to originally get them married. But I can't tell you guys that because it's going to ruin the story." Oh my God, I had to go back to the comic book shop and pick up issues 51 through 70 something. And that, I hate reboots, man. I do, because then you have to start all over again. But I also understand the business. I understand why they do it. Comic shops also thrive when there are issue number 1s. Issue number 1s do sell. So whenever there is an issue number 1 and someone that's not reading a character now has someone like Jonathan Hickman writing that character or that team, people will go and pick that up. And that was a thing for Tom King, right? He got so much hate, death threats over the whole Batman 50. But when he fixed it at the end, he even got his Batman and Catwoman, and he got them married and stuff. It fixed all that. It just, so there's pros and cons to everything, guys. There's pros and cons. Me personally, I don't care for 1s, but it all depends on the writer. And that's what I got to say about that. I know there's a long rant, but that's how I feel about it. So, how do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about issue number 1s or reboots?
Yeah, I don't even know what he's saying, Billy.
You never understand, Paul. You never understand.
Chat real quick. That definitely a money grab, but some new stories are good, like the new Ultimate Spider-Man series. Yeah, correct. So there's been, I think it's been like,
was it 2000 when it came out?
Well, okay, it's been like 10, 15 years since they ended the Ultimate Universe.
Oh yeah.
Right? That was around 2011.
12, yeah.
When it was like the death of the Ultimate Universe, and they all crossed over into the 616.
Right.
So I feel like in that case, it's warranted because it is a brand new Ultimate Universe created by the maker, and with its own like kind of time stream and continuity that does kind of reference the original Ultimates, but doesn't because he changed everything. So I think in that case, yeah, it's warranted, and they killed it. But I think the biggest one, and I'm looking at you, X-Men, is having a new first issue every year, and then with different titles like X-Men Red and X-Men, and I didn't read them. Right?
House of X, Powers of X.
Yeah, I mean, I read the miniseries, and there was some cool stuff going on, but then I kind of like checked out of it because it was just getting to be too much. I love the whole X-Men Pirates thing and Marauders. That was great. But I think, I think new number ones, it's a balance, because if you're doing new number ones because you're trying to attract new readers, then I'm on board with that. But if it's just to try to get an artificial bump in sales, I don't think it's a good idea. I think it kills the market. But yeah, Ryan Riley, you're right. I am a sucker for number one sometimes, and foil.
It depends on the writer.
It says, all the Spider-Gwen verses. Yeah, there's a lot of them. But okay, so I think all in all, I think there's room for both. But I think long-standing titles like Action Comics, Detective Comics, Batman, Superman, World's Finest, I think those I don't think they should reboot them. I think they should just keep and let the number be what it is. Like Avenger.
Well, that's how I feel about Venom. I mean, the Venom run by what's his name? He just got into a car accident. Donny Cates, yes. So Donny Cates' Venom is probably one of the best character developments that you probably had for the character and for probably any character in a really long time. He didn't just create a really good story and origin and a background, but he created a whole universe. He even explained the things from the 90s on when Venom first got wings, explaining the dragon, why the symbiote is scared of the noise. The noise reminds them of the dragon on their planet. The whole concept of Null, where Null comes from. If you didn't get that Venom number one, if you didn't get that reboot and a fresh writer with a fresh outtake on the character and what they're going to do with the character, we wouldn't have had the Venom that we have today. So there, like I said, there's pros and cons to everything. Me personally, I wouldn't know these things if it wasn't for my wife. My wife's a huge Venom fan. So when she was reading it, she was like, oh my God, did you know this happened in this book? Did you know that this happened? Oh my God, you got to read this Carnage one. This Carnage one is so good. And at first I was like, nah, I was just blowing it off. And then I read it and I was like, wow, this is actually really good. She likes that, she likes the symbiote stuff. But again, I wouldn't, you gotta have that to bring in newer audience. And that's what I do agree with what Carlos is saying. Not everyone likes number ones, and I do agree that you shouldn't have Action Comics, Detective Comics, basically your stable characters. You shouldn't have reboots on them because they have so much origin and history from the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. And even the X-Men that you had mentioned, the X-Men at one point, they even changed that they weren't mutants anymore. They were like some sort of like race. They did that with Jonathan Hickman. They put him on a special island, and they even cloned the X-Men in those runs. Those runs were complicated and completely confusing. For almost 70, 65 years of X-Men history, you have a writer that comes in who's very brilliant, by the way. Jonathan Hickman's awesome. But he came in and he's like, we're going to call them Carusians, Corkians. I can't remember. Someone in here is probably gonna. I can't remember what they're called, but they weren't calling them mutants anymore. They were calling them the name of the island, and they were calling them that. They weren't calling because they said the name mutant was offensive, and then they went back and retconned that. They were like, "Yeah, let's not do that anymore." Like our readers are really mad, and they went back and they reversed all that. So now you had a clone thing that was happening with Mr. Sinister and Professor X, where they would send mutants on a suicide mission, and if they died, they would just be reborn. So that was starting all these #1 titles for X-Men. So that's where that comes from, Carlos. When they were doing those X-Men #1s and all that, it was because of all these reboots from those stories. Anyways, I just wanted to add that in there, just in case if you didn't know. But
I'm glad you did.
Oh my God!
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, Tony Stank.
I don't know what he. I don't know what he's talking about there.
You got to read the comics.
There's Tony Stank. Wolverado, good to see you as well. Glad that y'all are all hanging out with us. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up tonight, guys. Big thanks to everybody for being here tonight. Good discussion, good conversation. Just a quick reminder to hit up Lone Star Heroes Comics and Toys, 3 convenient locations in the greater Houston area. They are currently one of our channel sponsors, and really looking forward to seeing what they've got coming up, because in a couple of weeks they've got one of their big sales of the year. So everything in the store will go on sale, including back issues. And I love their back issue bins. Love to go digging through there and see what we can find. Also, if you haven't yet, consider joining the Dark Knight channel membership tier. Lots of fun books heading out to people who join us, $14.99 a month in the lower 48 states. There is an option for those who are in Canada to be able to join. That's called the old Knucklehead tier at $19.99, and that accounts for shipping to Canada because we didn't want to leave y'all out. So thanks so much for being here tonight, and we appreciate y'all as always joining us. We will see you. We will be off next week. We are off next week. We will not have an episode of the giveaway show because it is spring break, and Paul is taking Billy to the beach. So we will not have it that week, but we'll be back the following Wednesday. And here's something else. Stay tuned on Friday night. I'll be dropping a brand new video there. I've got a couple different ones that I'm looking at, so I haven't quite made up my mind yet, but make sure to be on the lookout because I am getting back on the Friday night videos. I know those have been, I haven't had those in a couple months, but I'm looking forward to dropping a whole bunch of new ones as we get back into the swing of things. So y'all take care. Thanks so much for being here with us tonight, and we will see you. In 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight. So make sure that you're hanging out with the guys who are going to show off their books that I guess maybe you're going to be giveaways. I don't know. We'll see. All right, y'all take care. Have a great night, and we will see you next time.